My name's Amanda.
And I'm Safara.
And we are Operation Stop CPS. And so today we want to talk to everybody that is ready to see, right, T? We're ready to talk to the people again. It's been so much happening.
So much since I go back and I look at when we first started this.
So yes, a lot has changed since May the 13th. That is an understatement, right?
Oh, that's an understatement. Yeah.
A lot has
Think about
changed.
it like, whoa, we have met so many people, so many families. Yes. And we are thankful, we are grateful for those interactions. We continue to meet people. We continue to link with, different organizations, and we are grateful for that. And we are grateful for the fact that, these organizations are in line with the same thing that we're in line with, so we can collaborate together. These parents, these families are in line with the same mission that we have. And together, collectively, we are changing things in the community.
Yeah, I mean, the alignment is just necessary, right? For things to go forward how they're supposed to go. People are ready for change.
Yes, people are.
Parents are ready to stand up and say enough is enough. Like, it's just really just that simple. So when we first started this, right, we thought that we would be able to educate parents, right, on their rights. And then parents would be able to go and just go out and be able to do this. And then we realized how powerful this system is, and that regardless of what you know about your rights, they will infringe upon them and look you in your face and tell you that you don't like actually have them. And you know what I mean? Like, I didn't realize it, because I didn't operate that way as a social worker or as an investigator. So I didn't see that. But now I didn't know how many people actually do that. It's sad. How many people have jobs and they don't know how to investigate child abuse?
Again, just lost for words in the fact that this was something that I did, investigating homes, investigating families. And, to know what it takes and what's entailed in the job, it baffles me the decisions that social workers are making. It baffles me the decision that higher ups are making. And it's like, I guess, when you and I were in the system as social workers, having that badge meant a lot. Like, I remember when we went to court, and that was the first time we didn't have access to our badges. And it was like, oh, this is how they treat people when they don't have a badge.
It felt different. We were treated different. I remember us having that conversation after we left that day, like, wow, like we actually have to go through the metal detector. Like, oh, wow. Like they actually search us. Like, it felt different. Our power was stripped away from us as soon as we were out of the system. But that's why they're so powerful. But this is not an excuse any longer. We see it. It's only because of the belief that they have become so powerful. Because they're not. Like, we really weren't actually that powerful. We were just still Amanda and Tafara, and we were just walking into the same places.
Right. At the end of the day, you are who you are. And at the end of the day, you still should have your moral and, ethics with you. So we still was Amanda and Tafara. And it was just like, this badge really had me where I was. That badge, yes. And that's the point of, them being so powerful. Yeah. But then when you think about it, like you said, we really not.
Like, I really, like, T, I'm telling you, there's been so many nights that I sit here and since being like in Operation Stop CPS, and I say, how did I have the power to take someone's child away? What gave me that? Where did this come from? This whole, how does the government terminate someone's rights to their child that they had? Who could, like, this belief that the government is powerful enough to terminate a parent's rights to their child? How did I have the power to go into people's houses and take their children just because I went to school for social work and I went to trainings and I showed up to work that day? It gave me the power over other humans' lives. This is why it's time to bear witness, because enough is enough. Just like we said, we were still the same people when we were employed by this system and when we're not. We are still the same. And it is time for these people that are employed with this system to be able to see the same thing, that your job affects people. Your job affects people. When you wake up in the morning and you come to work and you take someone's child, when you clock out, they are still in pain. They're still in pain. These families don't have their babies today. They don't have them.
They don't. And, you know, I just working with people, mothers who rightfully should have their children, it hurts. Mm-hmm. Like, it hurts. And that's why we continue to work harder and harder and harder. And we continue to ask the community for, just the backup in trying to help these mothers against this oppressive system. I mean, it's the same thing. All of the systems work together. They all work together. Like with Miss Sellers' case, the report was called from the hospital. It goes to CPS. CPS and the hospital chitter chatter together. Hey, got enough baby over here. So then from there, it goes to the court system, right? So now we have the court system chitter chatting with CPS and CPS. So now we have 3 dominoes here. Okay, so then you go to the state level, and that's where funding is coming from. And they're like, oh no, you got to go back to your local if you have a complaint. Then you go over the state and you go to the federal level, and they're like, oh, we don't deal with that. But you're still giving funding for these programs, for these children to be taken. So then you have a layer of the federal, state, local. So now you have a whole entity that's telling you, so we have to strike these entities because they all collectively work together as one.
Yep.
So there's no separating them. They work together. We got to tear the whole system down.
Because that's the thing. See, Child Protective Services is CPS, right? The Child Protective Services is CPS. That's who comes out and investigates and gives you services. The Child Protection System makes up all of these systems, and that they all feed into, all of these systems feed into the greater, which is the Child Protection System that is fully funded by the federal government. That is fully funded by the federal government. And so if we believe that going to them is going to fix this problem, we are sadly mistaken, because we have to remember that they employ themselves as well. And they are a part of the greater child protection system in America. And so if we want to really fix this problem, we have to start locally in our communities, because our community is where the fix is. It is the solution. And so when we talk about bear witness, you have to see these mothers getting their babies ripped from their hands. You have to hear the screams of these mothers for their babies. You have to feel these parents' pain. Like, just imagine, like, at this very moment, these parents can't touch or smell their children and their babies. All of our senses should be going off that there's a problem. Every last one of our senses should be alerted, and we should be awake and woke that it's a problem. And when are we going to be the solution? Because they're not. I mean, they're not going to help us.
Not at all. And, while you were speaking, I thought about something. And number one, we work in the system. Okay. So we have knowledge of the system. Mm-hmm. So when people say, and it's just in your head, systematic. That's just like with George Floyd. It's like, oh, well, he had to do something. Oh, he was resisting. Oh, this, that, and the third. And you gave trillions of excuses. But at the end of the day, he was murdered. Mm-hmm. Regardless of everything else, if he had a past, at the end of the day, he was murdered. Mm-hmm. And I was talking to a volunteer, and she said that she was trying to communicate to her friend what she was doing to activate this bear witness. And she said she believes in these mothers and these families. And the friend said, well, they had to have done something. There's more to the story. So I say in that, stop judging people. Stop saying it's more to the story, because that could be the same situation with you. Take that stance off the table, because that's a mental thing. That's a mental thing that you've gotten in your head, that you feel and you believe that something has to happen. No, it's what you see. It's what it is. So stop with that mentality that has been put into your head that it had to be something. We are backing mothers, families, dads, fathers that have had their children removed unnecessarily, just because the CPS system has the power, as they think, to remove these children.
So yeah, see, these social workers show up to these situations and they are investigating abuse and neglect, but they're bringing their own biases to the table. And if we are true change agents and true social workers, that has no room in any of these situations. But that's what's happening. That is what I am seeing in all of these cases. See, Kamika, bias, power trip. Danielle McCoy, bias, power trip.
Right.
What is going on? Like, what is happening here? When you go home to your family. When you leave work, you have ripped a family apart. How do you sleep at night?
Do we have no hearts? Do we have no souls? Do we have, and it's like, you have the mindset that you're actually, oh, I'm here to protect children. I'm here to do this. I'm here to...
It's the blinders, yo. What do we say? It's the blinders. I'm telling you. What do I say? I apologize to families on behalf of the system because I didn't see it. But because it's the blinders.
Yep.
The blinders are on to help you sleep at night. The blinders are on to help you get through the day. The blinders are on to make sure that you don't get sent to the county attorney's office and the supervisor's office on a regular and consistent basis.
Right.
You have to adapt to survive this system, even on the inside. And what we need are people on the inside that are ready to take this system down, right? We need those soldiers from the inside. We need us, right? We need these social workers that are taking the blinders off and are ready.
Yeah.
That's bear witness activations outside of their CPS location and know what's up. Because here's the thing. If your agency has teddy bears outside, it's a problem.
It's a problem.
It's a problem. Alert.
Yeah.
It's a problem. And so what are you going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? If you are passing a CPS location and you see teddy bears, it's a problem. That means they take babies in there. When are we going to stop and say enough is enough? And so what's next, right? We coming to the next system very soon.
Very soon. It is the next system that's in that whole chain that I mentioned before. That whole system that makes up the CPS system. Oh, we're not just going for CPS. We not. We are not going to stop until these babies come home. And I don't understand. You can remove. This is how powerful you are as a community. Mm-hmm. There have been several cities where bears have been removed and kidnapped, just like our babies,
right?
And put in trash bags, just like foster care kids and other kids that are taken. That's where they put their stuff at, in black trash bags, and they take them with them.
Right. I mean, they stopped this breastfeeding mother from feeding her baby to take bears down because they were, I mean, I don't understand. And then you hear, I guess, his sergeant riding by talking about, well, let him know if there's property damage from teddy bears. Right. So that you guys are just trying to find a problem and a fault in something. But you know what? That's the thing. That's why we are responding in power. Okay.
Yeah.
Understand that, you know, that it's going to be a target because the CPS system wants to stay powerful.
Exactly.
They want to stay powerful.
Exactly.
They want to continue to operate in this fashion, and they want to continue to abuse families, and they want to continue to perpetuate this thought that parents need them or the community needs them. We don't need you.
Yeah. They want you to shut up.
Right. We as the community take full responsibility for our children. We take it back. And but community, right? See, right. Community. Yes. We have to be ready, because the reality is that we're not ready. There are not enough grandmothers and aunties and uncles and just makeshift anything in our communities that are ready to take on this responsibility. Our children, our babies. That's why people are calling CPS. We have to change these mandated reporters into mandated responders. If you see something, do something. Don't go say something and call, do something. Like we have to train our people to be able to respond when CPS shows up at the house, to be able, because parents are in this battle between, I have to protect my children, right? That threat, that automatic fight or flight that comes when CPS knocks on your door. There needs to be someone else that is not fearful of CPS taking their child that needs to be at their house, right? We need the people to pull up immediately, to be able to go toe to toe and tongue wrestle with these people, because that's all it is. They all they do is talk. I do talk somebody out of anything. Like that's why they employ us, right?
Yeah. I remember that. I just talk you out. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
You know, they're not your friend. They're not your friends. They're not your therapist. No, they're not. Stop telling them everything that you've done in your lifetime. Stop. Stop talking. Think about your baby and stop it.
And so that's why we have to train our community to respond in power. And so we need everybody to also be on the lookout for the Respond in Power, the first virtual training for Respond in Power. You know, our book is available on Amazon, the guide for parents, because again, we talk about the same things that we were talking about. The fact that you have the right to remain silent, that, you know, if there's no court order, if there's no warrant, you don't have to let them in. Right? How do you engage with CPS and retain your power? What does the law really allow them to do? We need people to understand their power and that CPS is not powerful.
Yes.
CPS is nothing but people that work in a building that go get badges printed out to say they are who they are. Believe us, we have been them. Exactly. And we are here to tell you that our power only came from paper and words written down on it.
Yes. And I do want to mention, we also have the donation page on our website, because we are passionate about what we're doing. We want it to be when a mom or a family calls and says, I'm in Texas, we there. That's the point of this, because we have to get strong as a community. We have to, and we see that we are, but we still have a lot of work to do. A lot.
Right, because the thing is, we need to be able to employ, right? We need to be able to employ the same resources at our disposal that the system has. We need to be able to employ people. We need social workers that as soon as they take the blinders off, they come over here. right?
Right.
We need to be able to employ doctors that see that this medical kidnapping is a problem. We need to be able to have the resources ready to respond in power. Because if we don't, we're doing nothing but talking.
That's all. That's
and
all.
We don't want to just change pieces of paper. We are about that action.
So we want it to just to be natural, that people feel and know that they can call Operation Stop CPS, and we show up. We show up.
Because knowledge plus action equals power. And that is what we are about. We are about becoming as powerful as this system so that we can take it down. And the parents and the community are the leaders of this movement. And we do not listen. We can't change this at a big scale. They are too powerful that way. We have to affect change in each individual community. We have to attack each individual CPS location and find out how they operate so that we can figure that out and respond in power. What are their policies? What are their procedures, right? And so again, that is what the Bear Witness is about. It is about figuring out what communities need immediate assistance, right? Because this is happening everywhere. But where's the problem? Where are where can we go right now? Because we need the stories. We need to make this real. We need families going to Congress and telling their stories and demanding that nobody go home until they figure it out.
Exactly.
Nobody goes home until these babies come home.
Exactly. Just like they did the presidential election. You stay there until you're able to make a decision that they do not come out of that building until something has changed.
Yes, because we need to bring our babies home. It's just that simple. We have demands. And we are clear that we will not stop until they are all met. There are so many people that have come out of the shadows and are using their voice. And so seeing people on the post that we made that said, I stand with the movement because it was powerful. Somebody just said, I stand with the movement because it's just the right thing to do, or because babies are being taken. Like, it's just that simple. It's really just that simple.
Right.
I stand with the movement because I'm walking in my purpose and I know it. I stand with the movement because parents deserve it. I stand with the movement because there's nothing else that I would rather be doing than taking this system down.
And just like with Saisha, when she said there's no other option, that resonated with me. I stand for the movement because there's no other option.
So we had 13 states that activated during the Bear Witness activation. Man, see, we started with 4 states. We started with four states. And we ended with 13. That's movement. That's movement. That's movement. That is definitely movement. And so we just wanted to share some images of the Bear Witness activations in different locations. If you're listening on the podcast, definitely go follow us at Operation Stop CPS. And also you can find this video on our YouTube so that you can actually see these actions. It is a beautiful to see.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing to see. So if everybody, just like I said, this movement is not going to stop.
It's not.
This movement can't stop because parents are relying on change.
And you just said something that brought like the next movement we have, it should be hashtag there is no other option.
Because there isn't.
There isn't.
There's no other option. Our babies are counting on us. It is survival of the fittest. When I started 10 years ago, the system wasn't this powerful, and it has gotten 10 times more powerful. And so I don't think that we can do another 10 years of this.
That's like 10 years in slavery.
This is modern day slavery.
It is.
They are ripping our babies out of our hands. Yeah.
Zephaniah, my most beloved, my darling prince. I think about you every day. I catch myself going back to that place where it once existed, you and I as one. So safe, so loving, so intimate. I really miss you, Stink. It's been so hard without you. I can't help but wonder about that day you were violently taken. I was so afraid you were hurt. I need reassurance every day that you were untouched by the havoc wreaked. You are so brave, and I am so very proud of you for your strength and your courage to carry on knowing mommy is working tirelessly to get you home.
I just want to show everybody my display that I have.
Oh, I love
Tegan.
it.
Yes.
Because it's time to bring our babies home. This is going on for too long. Being separated from our kids for that amount of time is super, not just traumatic for them, it's traumatic for us. You know, Tegan, my baby girl, my heart, I love you so much. There aren't enough words to describe how much I adore and miss you. It has been 650 days since you were taken from me. And I am so sorry these people robbed me of all your most precious moments so early in life. I'm so sorry I could not protect you from the trauma they caused you. And I am most sorry that they robbed you of your family and of our love. You mean the world to me, and you are everything I could have ever hoped for and more. I will not allow them to dim your beautiful shining light. I will fight for you until God sees fit I cannot. I'm your mom, and there is nothing in this world I would not do for you. Until we meet again, my sweet angel, know mommy loves you to the moon and back.
And enough is enough. We're not gonna have it no more. It's not okay to take my baby away and to take other mothers and families' babies away and then just give them a teddy bear like it's gonna solve something, like it's gonna comfort them. No, give us our babies back. They need us. They need comfort from us. A teddy bear is not a fix. It's not a fix. You're given a Band-Aid, and underneath there is a wound. They are wounding our children. Unnecessary wounds. So I'm standing. We are the movement, okay?
We are.
And we have people standing with us. And the time is now to activate. The time is now to move. We can't be still no more. We can't be still no more. We are calling out. And as a collective, we have to come together.
We have to.
This is so important. We have to come together. We are so powerful. We are so powerful. This is what it takes. This is what it takes. Thank y'all so much for doing this. Thank y'all so much for being with us and supporting us. Like, every single day we feel the pain. We have the tears. We stay up. We can't sleep. And they think this is just okay. This is not okay. This is not okay. They need to be held accountable. Yes. This is torture. This is torture for mothers, for babies. It's not okay. CPS, stop taking our babies and giving them teddy bears. They don't need teddy bears. They need their mommy. They need their daddy. Those are the arms that provide safety and security and love, real love. A teddy bear can never, will ever do that.
I see evil all around. Give us peace, need some peace. So I pray on bending knees. I'm falling, falling tonight. Sirens lie, flames go high. Justice cries out for his life. I see red, I see red. Give us peace, we're 6 feet deep and falling. We're falling tonight. We're taking it back, we're taking it back. The people's will, the power's set to get on strong. We're holding on, you can't take me from my home. I ain't falling, Media tells us lies while they strip us of our pride. Theft and murder, genocide. For our freedom we unite. Go all in, we're all in tonight. We're taking it back, we're taking it back. The people's will, the power's set to get on strong. We're holding on, you can't take me from my home. I ain't falling, falling.
I stand with this movement because these children deserve a voice. They deserve many voices, raised in advocacy for their release, because they were stolen unjustly, and the parents who have lost their children to this broken system need our help, our solidarity in order to see their kids again. I stand with this movement not because I want to make enemies with law enforcement, but because I want to make peace. I stand with this movement because I know we can do better, because there needs to be more effective and unprejudiced approach to determining abuse, one that is complex and thorough and fair, one that doesn't traumatize families, endanger children, and ruin lives. I stand with this movement because if this were my child, I would want everyone to stand with me. It's time to bring our babies home.
So I'm making this video to stand in solidarity with the movement to stop CPS from unjustly taking children from their families, better yet, stealing children from their families. CPS has been stealing children. It's called medical kidnapping, for the sole purpose of lining their pockets, to intimidate families, particularly families that are Black and brown. There are so many mothers that are going through hell right now because their children have been stolen from them for absolutely no reason, no justifiable reason whatsoever. And their children are being harmed. Some are being abused and tortured. It's mortifying. And so I'm standing with the movement called Bring Our Babies Home. I'm standing with Saisha, Mrs. Sellers, and so many other mothers and families that are going through hell right now because CPS has unjustly taken their children, and they are fighting tooth and nail to get them back.
I support this movement, and I stand with Saisha because no child should ever be taken from their loving mother or father. This system needs to change now. It is corrupt, it is broken. It needs to be held accountable now for the trauma that it has inflicted upon these children and families. They need to bring our babies home. Bring Raw home.
I stand with this movement and with Saisha and all the other mothers and parents whose babies and children have been taken away from them unjustly. Because what they've had to endure is simply unthinkable. It's abusive and completely contradictory with what the system claims, that it is for the welfare of the children. And yet, in way too many cases, it does the exact opposite and causes unnecessary trauma to countless families and the very children they claim they want to protect. Let's be clear. Breastfeeding is not a crime. Asking questions to a doctor is not a crime. Asking for a second medical opinion is not a crime. Being poor is not a crime. Living a holistic lifestyle is not a crime. Being abused as a child and being in a foster system is not a crime, and therefore should not result in labeling you as an at-risk parent later in life. Reminding authorities your parental rights when they try to ignore them is not a crime. None of these things are a crime or considered abuse and should not result in taking your children away from you. And yet, in many cases, they are used against the parents. Baby Ra is still not home. It's been over 6 months. He's still not home for no valid reasons whatsoever. Please bring Ra home. Please bring all of our babies home.
I stand with this movement because I am a mother. Bring our babies home.
There's a movement going on that's really important to me and should be important to pretty much anyone, especially people with children. So it's worth talking about. I have never been a quiet person when it comes to my opinions, my beliefs, my morals, and I tend to be extremely passionate and not quiet when something that I'm passionate about is affected. So since being a mother, it's just heightened that, but I've worked with children my whole life, and I stand by this movement to bring our babies home. This system has been broken for a very long time. It's just coming to light to a lot more people in a lot more places, especially close to home, coming from where Saisha is having her current problems with CPS. It's time to bring our babies home. They're taken unjustly. The system has been broken, both the police force and CPS, the hospitals that are intertwined with that, the people that get paid for this system to be broken, the obvious racial discrimination that has to end. We've seen it for over, decades and decades now. It's been worse and worse and more obvious as the time's been going on, but this has really come to a head for me, having it be so close to home and just finding out more and more about this. So
bring our babies home, in support for myself and all the mothers out there who have had their babies taken from their loving homes unjustly. This cannot happen any longer. I stand in support for so many reasons, as a holistic mama, as a breastfeeding mama, as a parent of a son who is biracial, as someone who has worked in the system alongside DCF, as someone who has gone through my own trauma in the medical system at birth with my son and feeling pressured to give my son antibiotics that I knew he did not need in fear. We need to stand together. We need to create the change. It can no longer happen. There is a war against mothers and babies especially, and black and brown, and it needs to stop. And it starts right here with us to unite together and bring the change and the awareness we need. Bring our babies home.
Today is another day that Saisha Mercado does not have her baby Ra at home. Ra is still not home. I stand in solidarity with this sister and with all the mothers.
I stand with this movement because no child should be unjustly taken from their parents. We all must be held accountable for not fixing this corrupt system that has traumatized our babies and families. Saisha and so many other innocent families cannot do this alone. Bring Ra home.
Hi everyone. Just wanted to send some love out to Saisha and all the other families out there that have had their babies taken away from them unjustly by CPS.
Bring Ra home. Bring Ra home. Bring Ra home. Bring Ra home. If justice, no peace, no anything.
Bring our babies home.
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 Bring our babies home.